Good day to you, and what a day it will be, because by the end of it, you will have been besieged, and I use that word on purpose, besieged by mass communication. In fact, probably the very first thing that you heard from today was not a human being, but it was the alarm on your phone or a text message coming through giving you a notification. The phone is the newest device of mass communication. But also throughout the day, you'll probably be exposed to Christmas music on some radio station in some store. You'll probably at some point watch television, though television viewing amongst college students has gone way down in years, but at the very least, you might watch Netflix before you go to bed. Probably you won't be reading a newspaper because most college students don't read newspapers, but it's possible you'll be reading a newspaper. But throughout the course of your day, you're going to be surrounded or besieged, as I said, by mass communication. So welcome to Intro to Mass Communication, CMST 126. My name is Rob McKenzie. I'm the professor for the course. I'm also the chairperson of the Department of Communication Studies. And in the rest of this video, what I want to do is describe the syllabus and outline for you what your responsibilities are for today, Monday, the very first day of class. All right, so let's dig into the syllabus. The first page of the syllabus I'm not going to read on a video like this, but you can check it out on your own. It lays out for you some of the contact information for me, the most important of which is my email. I'm accessible by email several times throughout the day. So if you need to get a message to me quickly, it's by email. Secondly, I want to let you know that there are no office hours for a distance ed class. But if you need to meet with me, I'm going to be in town this week and this week only for the class, and I'll be happy to meet you on campus. All right, next I want to talk about the departmental outcomes and also the course outcomes. They're listed for you on the syllabus. I would like you to check those out. That's what I aim to achieve in terms of your learning by the end of this course. And now I want to go into the syllabus. Starting on the second page at the top, if you have it in front of you, it might be worthy to have it next to you as we go through these items. You can pause the video to do that if you want. The first thing is to note that this is a distance ed course. That means it's taught exclusively online. That means you really have to be on the ball online to do well in this course. That means you need to be checking your emails frequently because there might be announcements that I send out that change some of the course assignments or change something about the course. And if you miss it on email, and you're not checking your email every single day because this course is taught Monday through Thursday, then you're responsible for that. So you've got to make sure that you're checking your email because it's a distance ed course. Now, basically to break down your normal routine for the course, at least as it's going to proceed starting tomorrow, Tuesday, you have 3 things to do each and every day. The first thing that you want to do is log on to D2L and watch the instructor video, just like the video that I posted here. You've got to watch the instructor video to go on to the second thing, which is to take a quiz. The quiz will be a timed quiz. It will be 5 minutes long, and it will be 5 questions. And you'll need to come into that quiz having already read the chapter so that you're ready to answer those questions. It's possible for you to go fishing for the answers in the book in front of you, but you're going to have a whole lot of stress on you because of that ticking clock. And most students cannot perform that way. They have to read the chapter. This is a book that you've got to read in order to pass this class. So that's the second thing you do each and every day is you take a quiz. But you won't see the quiz on D2L until you watch the instructor video. So if you email me saying, I can't see the quiz, it's because you haven't watched the video. That will then lead you after the quiz to the third thing. And the third thing is to answer a discussion question that I will have posted on the chapter, and to answer that question in exactly 190 to 210 words, no less, no more. It's the only way that I can judge everybody by a fair standard. And in this discussion question, you're going to be citing chapter content to show that you've read it and to also demonstrate your own thinking as it's connected to that chapter concept in light of my discussion question. You'll see more about that as we go on. Once you get the first couple sent out to you, you'll see what my style of question asking is like. And I will be grading things on a fairly regular basis, so you can go into your final grade, or really the grades link on D2L all the way at the right on the top of the home page for D2L, and you can see how you're proceeding in the course percentage-wise. All right, now let's go down to the instructor video. Each instructor video will last anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. That's the typical range. I will post them by 12 o'clock each day of the course, and that's when you can get started. Sometimes I'll get to post them earlier, but you can count on them being posted by 12 o'clock. I record the videos on my phone. I try to change the location to make the class interesting. This video is recorded in my office here in the Monroe building on campus. You can see my favorite rock performer behind me on the wall, Mr. Keith Richards, as well as the MTV Woody Award behind me that our radio station WESS won in 2014 for being the best college radio station in the country. We won the award the same year as Beyonce and Drake and Ed Sheeran. So we're very proud of winning that MTV award. And if you want to see what the celebration was like when MTV came to campus, it's pretty exciting, even if you're not part of the radio station. Just Google MTV Awards Woody to WESS and you'll find it. All right, back to the syllabus. We want to go next to the quizzes. As I said, each quiz is going to be on every single day, at least for the first part of the course. At the very end of the course, we finish with the book and we do some other things from a different book. But the quizzes will be every single day for 5 minutes. And you'll need to know the chapter reading before you take the quiz. There will be a timer that shows on the D2L screen that shows you the countdown so that you're aware of it. And the quizzes should be graded automatically upon completion. Next up is the observational comment that I talked about. This is your response to the discussion question that I'm going to post. 190 to 210 words, as I said. I want to caution you right now to use proper grammar and to write in proper academic language. That means not cell phone texting style. No I, small I instead of a capital I. No use of C instead of spelling out the word S-E-E. No L, the numeral 8R for later. None of that kind of language. That's appropriate for texting in the medium of texting and social media, but it's not appropriate in sending an email to a class instructor. All right, next up is something called Rounding Some Corners on the syllabus. This is a book that I wrote that has lots of newspaper columns that make oddball commentary on life. And I want you to read this at the end of the course after we finish with the main book for the course, which is Hanson's Living in a Media World. And we'll be looking at rounding some corners later in the course. I won't say much about it now because it's about 3 weeks in the future before we get to it. But you'll need to make sure you have that book, and that book will stimulate your thinking and demonstrate to you the power of mass media. Now we come to the summary of the grade weights for the class. This is how your grade will break down. There is 100 points overall, and if you see my eyes sneaking to the side here, it's because I'm looking at my syllabus on my copy stand. But there's 100 points overall. 60 of those points come from the quizzes. So you'll have 15 quizzes worth 5 points each, but I will be dropping the 3 lowest grades. So that gives you 3 quizzes that you didn't perform that well on to get rid of and exclude from your final grade. Next up is the second biggest chunk, that's 30 points. They're coming from your observational comments. They will be 15 observational comments at 2.5 points for each comment. And that leaves us finally with the 10 points, and that's going to be due to 20 RSC posts. RSC is short for Rounding Some Corners, the book with the newspaper columns that I wrote. And you'll be doing 2 posts on 2 columns per day at 1 point for a combination of the 2 posts. So you'll get 0.5 for each post. And like I said, I'll say more about how those will be graded later on in the semester. Next up is the statement original work. All of your work in this class must be original. You must not copy or paste anything from the web. I will be submitting your material to plagiarism software programs that will be able to determine whether you have cut and paste the material from the web. You don't want to find yourself in that situation. Students get turned over to judicial affairs, and then judicial affairs renders a decision which could result in an F for the course, or as ESU counts it, as an E. Plagiarism is nothing short of stealing in the academic world, so we want you to use your own ideas in this course. All right, next is late work. There is no late work accepted in this class. I have to apply the same standards to everybody, and that means that you need to make sure that your technology is working. You need to have a backup plan if your internet is down. Can you get onto it through a hotspot in your phone? What if your phone doesn't work? What if your computer's not working? What if you meant to do the work by 12 o'clock the following day when it's due, but you bumped into somebody in the parking lot and they sidetracked you? None of that washes in this course because I have to treat everybody fairly. So make sure your stuff is on time. Everything is always due 24 hours after I sign it. So tomorrow's assignment will start at 12 o'clock, the quiz, the instructor video, the observational comment. You have a whole 24 hours to complete it, all the way until next day. You don't have to be online at the same time I am. You just have to be online once a day, sometime in that 24-hour window. All right, my email policy is such that I accept emails, I like emails, I want to help students through emails as much as possible. I respond quickly to emails, but I want you to use a salutation out of respect in your emails. Don't just email me and say, what was my score on the quiz? Give me a salutation, Dr. Mackenzie, Rob, hello, good morning, anything to show some courtesy and some dignity. Also, similarly to what I talked about in your observational posts, you want to make sure that you are not using cell phone texting style in your emails and that they are checked carefully for grammar and also for spelling mistakes. All right, next up is a Title IX statement. That's a university-wide statement that all professors have to put on their policies. You can read it on your own. It basically refers to reporting sexual violence, sexual harassment in the context of a classroom. And there's a procedure for that at ESU that's also listed on the website. All right, looking at the tentative schedule of events, if you see the very first item on there, we're just introducing the course today. And then tomorrow we're going to be digging into the first chapter for the course, Living in a Media World, Chapter 1. And by the way, those words are used somewhat interchangeably, media and mass communication. Sometimes we'll say Introduction to Mass Media, sometimes we'll say Introduction to Mass Communication. There is a small difference. Media refers to the actual technology that delivers the content. So a mass medium, which is the singular of media, could be a television or a cell phone. Whereas mass communication refers to the process. It refers to the process of sending out that content through different media. Small difference, but we use them somewhat interchangeably in this class. Okay, so be prepared for tomorrow when you log on by 12 o'clock to have read that very first chapter in the book. Now, your remaining responsibilities for today include the following. Number one, I want you to watch the second video that I'm going to post, which is a video that's introducing myself in person to you. That's number one. Number two, I want you to also post a video of yourself, introducing yourself. It should be no more than 2 minutes long, or at least close to 2 minutes. And in that video, I'd like you to tell us your name. I'd like you to tell us where you're from. I'd like you to tell us why you took this class, and I'd like you to tell us your career ambitions. Those 4 things. That's the second thing that I want you to do. The third thing that I want you to do today is to consult my Curriculumvita. My Curriculumvita is an academic resume. It's posted under the Content tab, and this will tell you more about my background and credentials. And that's it. That's what today is going to consist of. I'll also send out an email letting you know these things in written form. And other than that, I hope you have a great day and welcome to Introduction to Mass Communication.